to the next video tutorial in this series. Over the last video tutorial, we had learned how to maintain a connection from Nodejs and MongoDB. So if you see the code, we already have made a connection for our cloud MongoDB, which is here, and we have created different route for our product and for our orders till now. So the next thing, first of all, let's start the application with the help of nodemon. So we'll write npm start. So nodemon will restart the application. So our app has been started and server is running at port 4000. Now the next step will be to perform the CRUD operation. So to perform the CRUD operation, first thing which we will need to create is the model for product and order. So to do that, first of all, we will create a file inside our API. So inside our API, we'll create a folder with name models, and inside model we will create two files, one for product and another for orders. So we'll rename it as order. So first of all, we'll create the model for product. To do that, first of all, we need Mongoose here. So we'll require Mongoose here. That's why I just wrote const Mongoose equal to require Mongoose. And the next line we'll write product schema equal to mongoose dot schema, and inside schema we'll define the type of variable or the values for product. So to do that, first thing will be the ID, which will be the data type. The type of ID will be ID generated from Mongo itself. So mongoose dot schema dot types and dot object ID. This is the data type of ID field, and the name field data type will be the string. Similarly, we will give one more parameter, price, and the data type of price will be number. So we'll save this. And similar, now this product schema we have to export it, so that whenever we will need to perform or to call the product schema, we can import it wherever it is required. To export this module, we have to write module.exports equals to mongoose.model. We are giving an alias here with the help of mongoose.model function. So the first parameter, it takes the alias name. So we are giving the alias name product, and the values is product schema. So what we are doing is we are exporting the product schema with the name product. So whenever we have to import the product schema, we have to use the product as a variable. So the next step, inside the product route, what we have to do is that we will try to save the data coming from the postman. Suppose in case of product, we are sending name and price here. So the name and price will be saved into our MongoDB. So the endpoint which is getting called is slash. So and we are sending the post request. So inside the post router, so this is the get, and here is the post. So I am removing all the code for now, and what I'll do first, that I'll write const product equal to new product. So to call the product method here, what I have to do, first I have to import the product which is we are exporting from our modules, so that we can call the constructor of it. So to import, we already know that we have to write const product equal to require, and inside required we'll write the path of the file slash. Okay, so from product the path of the product is inside API, and inside API we are inside model. So you can see that we have got models, and inside model we are calling product. So this way the product which we have exported from here can be imported in this variable. Now we can easily call the constructor of this product method. So first of all, the parameter which is coming from our postman we will retrieve here with the help of request dot body dot name and request dot body dot price. So we'll pass these two variables into its constructor to initialize the constructor. So the name is request dot body dot name and the price is request dot body dot price. So since it is a JSON object, that's why we have to pass it as a JSON, and we are missing one more thing which we have to specify, and that value is ID. So the value ID will be a type of Mongo. So in that case we have to call the ID which can be generated with the help of MongoDB or Mongoose itself. So to generate automatic variable from Mongoose we will write, so we have to import the Mongoose here first because we want to use its variable. So const Mongoose equals to require Mongoose. Now we can write it mongoose dot types dot object ID. So now the mongoose dot type dot object ID will be an ID generated from Mongoose. So we can store in ID, name, price, and now you can see that this JSON object is similar to the JSON, the schema of the product, So both are similar. Now we can save the product into our database easily. So let's see how we can save it. So to save this object into our database, we can write product.save, and this way we can save it in our database. So next we'll check whether it has been saved properly or not. So to do that we'll write the then. So we'll write then because product.save returns a promise to us. So inside then we'll get a response, we'll print the response, and we'll also handle a catch so that if any exception occurs we can easily monitor it. So I'll write a console, I'll just write the error here, I'll console.log.error so that if any error comes we can easily monitor it. And in case of response, so we'll send this result to our API as a response. To send the response we already know we have to write result.status, and the status code is 200. We can send 201. 201 is the created 201 is specified a created response. So that since we are creating an object or we are adding an object into database, so we can specify the error or response code as 201. So response.status status 200, and then we can specify the JSON, and the JSON which we want to send is the whole result. Let's see what will be the response, and you can see that as soon as I saved my file, the server has already been started with the help of Nodemon. Now we will send a request to save this Samsung into our MongoDB which has price 50. Let's see what will be the response. So here we can see that an error occurred, and the error is product is not defined. Why product is not defined is because here is product and we are performing product.save. So we have defined the product, but it's saying product is not defined. Okay, so here it is. We can see that the spelling mistake we have done a spelling mistake here. So just product, I'm writing a product here, and here the new, instead of small we have to write the capital product, which is here. So now server has started. Let's check it again. I'm sending the request, and you can see that this object or this value has been added into our database, and it has written an ID this, and this ID has been generated with the help of our Mongoose, and the product name was Samsung and the price was 50. Now we will do some simplification in this response, because we do not need this underscore v as a response, and we'll add some more value so that we can get a nice format of response. So to do that, what we will do, first thing that we are getting it in the result, so we can define an object here, JSON object. So we are doing it like this: result dot name and ID. We will send the ID also. So result dot, if you'll see the format of ID, so it has underscore ID. Underscore ID, and one more thing, and that is price. So for price, we will send result dot price. By this way, we can send a JSON response to our API. So let's check what will be the response now. And now I'll add an Apple product here, and the value will be 100. If I'll send this, we can see that name, ID, and price, we have received it in a nicer format, which we have added here. So now to check whether these two products have been added into our MongoDB or not, we have to call a get function here, which we'll call this get function, which have only slash as an endpoint. So it will give all the products which is available into our MongoDB. So to do that, similarly, what we have to do is we have to write product dot find, just find, and we'll write. So product dot find is not a promise here. So to make it promise, we have to write exact, means execute, and then we'll get a then request here. Then so once we'll write product dot find dot exact, it will give a promise, it will return a promise to us. So we'll write then, and after that we'll get a result here, and if we are not getting result in any case, we will catch it with the help of catch, and we will log it. We'll log the error message in case if any comes. So it is giving some error, and that error is we have to remove it first, because this is not required. Now you can see that all the error has been removed. So what we have done, product dot find exact then result. So we will send the whole result as a response. To send a response, we have to write response dot status, and the status is 200, and JSON, and the JSON we are sending the whole result. Let's see whether both object which we added with the help of this post route has been added into our database or not. So to check that, again we will go to in this postman. We will select the get request from here, and we will send slash endpoint of product. So in case we did that, it is saying that product.find.exact.catch is not a function. Okay, we can see that I have made a spelling mistake here. Instead of catch, I have written something, I don't know what it is, but it has spelling mistake. So to solve this, now it is correct. Let's see what will be the response. So in case we are sending a get request, we do not need this object. So I am just leaving it as it is, because it will not be impacted anywhere, since we are sending a get request, and in get request everything goes as an parameter but not as a body. I am sending it again. Now we can see that we had added two things, one Samsung and second is Apple, and both things have been came when we tried to get all the products. And in case if you want to get any specific product, so we already have created an endpoint here. With the help of product ID you can retrieve it. So to do that, what we have to do is that first of all we have to read this product ID from the parameter. So to read this value from parameter, what we have to do is const id equal to request dot params dot this product ID. I'll copy and paste it here so that I do not make any spelling mistake. And now the parameter which is coming in the get request we already have stored into get. And similarly, as we have written the find here, we can write product dot find by id, and the id we are sending is underscore id, and this id we have got which is coming from our parameters. Now again I'll write execute so that it gets converted into a promise, and then I'll write then and catch. So inside then I'll get a result, and inside once I'll get the result, then I will send this result to the front end. To send the result as a response, I have to write response.status.200, and the message is, I will not send the message, but I will send whatever the result I have received as an JSON. So it has been sent. Now in case of catch request, in case of catch, if I get any error, so that error I am logging at my server so that I can see what is the error. Console.log and error. So in case of product ID, so we'll try to get one product with the help of its ID. So let's say the ID, I'm copying the ID from here. So we are trying to get the Samsung as a response. I will write it here and I'll send it again, and we can see that I have received only one response, and that is Samsung. So this way we can get an object, we can get all the values stored in our database. We can get only one values on the basis of ID. We can add a value with the help of post and with the help of product.save method. And similarly, in case of delete, first of all, before we go to patch, first we'll try to delete an object. So to delete an object, what we have to do is, first of all, I'll remove everything from here so that we can have a clear code. Now we have nothing instead of product ID. So the product ID will be used to delete that particular value or that particular object or product. So let's start. We'll write product dot remove, not delete but remove. And similarly, to make it promise, we have to write execute and then and catch. Now similarly, in case of catch, I'll get any error, and that error I will log at server console.log and error. And similarly, if I'm writing product.remove, so remove I have to pass as an ID here. So I am trying to remove the value on the basis of ID, and the ID is product ID. And here is the then. Inside then I will get some result which have been deleted. So I'll return this deleted object as a response. So I'll write status as 200 and JSON value, and the JSON value I will send the whole result. Let's see whether we are able to delete the object or not. To delete the object, we have to select delete request from here, and we are sending a product endpoint and the product ID. So we are trying to delete this Samsung, this ID, and this ID is related with the Samsung product. Once I hit the product, I can see that I have received some values here, but I am not able to read what are these. So let's see whether this value have been deleted or not. So in case we try to get it, so we should not get any response in case this product have been deleted. That's why I am trying to fetch this product again, and I can see that I have received a null value here because the product we already deleted with the help of delete request. So now we can assure that this value have been deleted. Now we'll look into how we can update the product. So to update a product, similarly, what we are doing is that we are getting a product in an value, and I am removing all the code, and to update the product we will write product dot update, and the product dot update, we are updating the product on the basis of ID as we are doing in the case of delete and get on the basis of any ID. So we are writing product dot ID and we are updating it. So we are updating the values like name and price here. So we have to write $set because we are setting the value, and in $set we have to pass what are the values we are setting. Name, request dot body dot name and request dot body dot price. We can update any one or both of them, depends on the requirement. So request dot body, this way we can update it. Now what I have to do is here I can see some error here. Let's write it again. So this is the ID, and the second is we have to specify. So we'll write $set, and inside $set we have to add one column here. If you are aware about the syntax of MongoDB, so how we update a product is that we write update and we have to specify the ID. Apart from that, what are the fields we are trying to update here? So those fields are name, and name is coming from request dot body dot name, and similarly we are updating the price, and the price is coming from request dot body dot price. Now this way we can update it, and similarly in case of every other thing like delete and update, delete and get, we have to convert into the promise with the help of exec and then catch. So this is whole syntax. Now we'll get a result which has been updated with the new value. So we'll send the updated value as a response, and the response is 200, and the JSON will be new value, which is result. In case of catch, as we are doing every time, we'll just log it somewhere. So we are writing console.log error. Let's see whether the values will be updated or not. So first of all, we'll try to get how many product do we have. So to do that, we have to hit a get request, and we have to remove a particular ID here so that we can get all the product which is available into our database. So we can see that earlier we had 2, but once we deleted one, so we have only one, which is Apple, and the ID is 52. This is the ID. And now what we have to do, we will pass this ID as an parameter, and this will be a patch request, and the name I am giving Apple 2, and the price I am giving 1000. And this way we can update a name and price. Let's see what will be the response. Once I hit the send request here, so I can see that none of the request, I'm not able to see any response. Let's see why we are not getting any response. So we can see that it is giving an error, and the error is result is not defined. Where we are using the result is used here, and we can see that result was actually not defined. Once I corrected the problem and save the file, the server automatically started. Again, I'll try to hit this button and I can see that I have received a message here, and it says that number of values updated and specified the number of values, which is 1. Now I'll try to get all the product again to see whether the values have been updated or not. To see all the product, we will send a get request without sending any value here. So we can see that earlier we have a value apple with price 100. Now we have apple 2 and price 1000. So this way we can perform the CRUD operation with the MongoDB and Nodejs. So this was a good part of this tutorial. I hope you enjoyed this a lot. So into the next video tutorial, we will look how we can specify some CRUD operation into orders as we specified in product. And apart from that, we will try to send some error messages to our error message as a response instead of writing the console and log at the server side.